Hello guys, welcome to Algorithms Made Easy. My name is Rajat and today we will be discussing the question Jump Game Part 7. In this question we are given a binary string and two integers min jump and max jump. In the beginning we are standing at index 0 which is equal to 0. We can move from index I to index j in the following conditions are fulfilled. We need to return true if we can reach the last index or we return false. We are given two sample examples with the problem. In the first case, we are able to reach the last index, so we return true. In the second case, we are not able to reach the last index, so we return false. So let's first discuss what the question is all about and how we can solve this. So let's first take an example. This is the string that is given to us, which we have represented as an array for us to understand it much better. Similar to all previous jump games, we are standing at a 0 index and we can make a jump to a next index. What we need to find out is whether we are able to reach the last index or not. So when we are at the 0th index, we can jump to any index in the forward direction only. But similar to all the jump games, we do have certain conditions attached to the jump that we are making. So what all are these conditions are? The first condition is we can only jump at an index whose value is 0. The second condition is the minimum jumps is given to us. In this case it is 2. So we cannot make any less jumps than the minimum jumps. And third is there is a maximum jump attached, so we cannot make more than 3 jumps in this particular case. Now, the jump that we made from index 0 to index 1 is not a valid jump because the value at index 1 is 1, which does not satisfy the first condition that we have. So, what will be a valid jump? A valid jump should be in the range of minimum and maximum jump and only to a index whose value is 0, which means this becomes our valid jump from index 0 to index 3. The jump is made to an index whose value is 0. It is well in range in between the minimum and maximum jumps. Once we are clear about what is a valid jump and the condition that we need to follow in order to achieve a valid jump, we can now move forward. Now, you all might have solved the Jump Game 6 problem as well, and in the previous video we discussed what is the approach that we will be following in order to solve that particular problem. So in that problem, we talked about some previous k steps because we had a value of k which says that from any index we can jump to any value ranging between 1 to k. So we will use the same approach over here. If you haven't watched the video yet, I highly recommend you to watch the previous video. The link is at the top and in the description below. The rest of the explanation will make much more sense to you if you get a good grasp on the previous explanation. Now, starting where we left off in the previous explanation, we talked about having a previous k steps to any of the index, and if we know that we need to find the maximum in the previous k steps, we were able to find out the maximum sum for the current index. So what was the k? K was nothing but the maximum jump that we can take from any of the indexes, but the minimum jump in that case was always 1. So how about we change some of the parameters and take the maximum jump or k as 3 and the minimum jump as 2. In that case, how do you think this window should change? The window will just shift because now the minimum jumps should be 2 and the maximum jump should be 3. So in order to reach the index 5, we need to either jump from index 2 or index 3, because from index 2 it will be 3 steps and from index 3 it will be 2 steps. And this is very important logic in this particular problem as well. So let's see how we can apply this logic on the current problem. We found out that a valid jump from index 0 is only to index 3. Once we reach that index, the only valid jump remaining is to the index 5. So we are able to reach the last index and we can return true in this case. Now if we see and apply the window logic again, we see that its window will lie in between index minus max jump to index minus min jump. And if there exists any reachable 0 in this particular window, we are able to reach our current index. And this particular logic holds true for any of the index present in the array. This window will just shift according to the current index. Now let's dry run the example that we have and see if it works or not. We are at an index 0 and the value is 0 in this case. That means this particular index is reachable to us. Now let's move up the next index. Now this index value is 1 and there won't be any window attached to it because the minimum jump is still 2 and it is index 1. So in this case we cannot do anything, and as the value is 1, we are sure that we are not able to reach it, so it is a false value for this particular index. Now we are storing the intermediate results because it will be very useful for us and it will make much more sense as we go through with this explanation. Now we move to the next index and here we get the window that we were talking about previously. The window size cannot go beyond the size of the array, so the index minus max jump or the 0 value, and then we have index minus min jump. As we are having one value in the window, we need to find out if there exists any 0 which is reachable in this particular window. Now we already know that we cannot jump on an index with the value 1, so it will only be reachable 0. Now why we are talking about only reachable 0? Because not all zeros will be reachable, and we will discuss that example. So we see that in this window we have one reachable 0. So we need to keep a counter of how many reachable 0 are present in the window that we have. So the reachable 0 is 1. So as we have a reachable 0 in this window but the value present at this index is not 0, we will put false in this case. So what is this reachable zeros? Now let's talk about a scenario wherein we are not able to reach an index with value equals to 0. Suppose in the initial example the initial value was 1 and we were standing at index 2 whose value is 0. In this window there is no reachable 0. It is only 1 with a false value. So if it is false, the reachable 0 is still 0. That means we cannot reach this index because there doesn't exist any 0 from which we can jump to the current index, and that is what the reachable 0 represent. It represent that whether there exists any index in the window from which you can jump to the current index, and with each index we will be updating the number of reachable zeros. So this becomes a case wherein the value is 0 but it is not reachable to us. So that's why answer for this index is false. We cannot reach this particular index. Now coming back to the original problem, we now move to the next index and our window grows. Again we are adding a new index into the window but it is false, so the reachable zeros won't change, but still number of reachable 0 is greater than 0. There exists at least one 0 which is reachable in this window and the current value is also 0, so we return true. Now we could have iterated through the range given to us in the window and found out if there exist any reachable zeros, but that technique would have costed in a higher time complexity, so we are using sliding window in this particular approach. Now we move to the next index and you'll see how the window slides with the current index. When a window slides with the current index, it affects two values, one which is leaving behind and one which it is adding in itself. We already know what we will do with the one value which we are adding in this window. If it is true, then we are adding that into our reachable zeros. Now what about the value that we are leaving behind? The value that we are leaving behind needs to be taken into consideration in order to update the reachable 0 as well. We need to check if the value that we are leaving behind was a reachable 0. If it is a reachable 0, we need to update the variable reachable 0 with the appropriate amount. So as in this case there is one less reachable 0, we will decrement the reachable 0 to 0. Since the value present at this index is 1, we'll put false. The reachable 0 is also 0, and also the value is 1, so the value will remain false. Now we move again. In this case, the value removed from the window was false, so we do not do anything with the reachable 0, but the value that is getting added into the window is a true, so we increment the reachable 0 to 1. At the current index the value is 0 and the reachable 0 is also greater than 0, so we put true in the case. See how we are using the intermediate results of true and false, whether we can reach that particular index or not. As we need to return whether we are able to reach the last index, we can simply return the last value, which is true in this case. So what all techniques that we are using over here? We are basically using sliding window plus dynamic programming. Sliding window with the window that we used, which slides with every current index, and dynamic programming because we are storing the intermediate results. Every true false represent whether we are able to reach that particular index starting from 0 following the conditions given to us by the problem. So what are the basic steps that we took during the course of solving this particular problem? We see that it is only possible to reach index 0 if its value is 0. Now for every index starting from 1, we find out if there exists a reachable 0 in the window between index minus max jump and index plus min jump. We will be having a variable which keeps track of that. If there is at least one value and the value at the current index is 0, then it is possible. We'll hold true and false into an array, and at the end we just need to return whether we are able to reach the last index or not. As always, I'll recommend you to solve this problem on your own with the explanation that we discussed. And if you face any issue, you can always come back to the video. Now it's time to code this particular approach. So as discussed, we would need array to store the intermediate results, and the length of the array will be equal to the length of the string given to us. We'll convert the string array into a character array. Now we know that we are standing at an index 0 and we need to put true into that particular index if its value is 0, otherwise we will put false into that. So we'll update that at index 0. Now we need to iterate from index 1 to the last index. So we need to keep track for all the reachable nodes. So initially there are no reachable zeros, so it is initialized with 0. The condition that we discussed is the value at this particular index in the DP array would be dependent if the reachable is greater than 0 and also if the value present at this index is 0. Now we need to just update the reachable. So we'll now do the two operations that we were doing while we are maintaining the window. The first operation is when we are trying to add a value into the window. So we'll first check if the I is greater than the min jump. In this case we will be adding the value, so the reachable will get the added value, and we need to check if the value I minus min jump is true or not. If it is true, then we add 1, otherwise we add 0. And since minimum jump can be 1, we'll put a equals to sign over here. Now about the value that we need to remove from the window. So this value will be I minus max jump minus 1 or 0. Now why we are doing I minus max jump minus 1? Because if you recall, our window lies in between I minus max jump to I minus min jump. So the value that is getting added lies at the minimum side. That is what we are doing, which will be I minus min jump, which is in the window that we are working in. But this value lies outside the window, which is I minus max jump. Our window starts from this range and we need to remove the value prior to this particular index. Once we have removed this value, we'll have the reachable nodes. We'll updating the DP with that, and at the end the answer will be at the last index. Now let's first dry run this before running. So we are putting the value true if the initial index has the value of 0. We have a reachable variable. We are updating the reachable according to whether the value is getting added or getting removed. We're checking if the reachable is 0 and the value at index is 0, then only we are putting true, otherwise it will be a false. And at the end the answer lies at the DP of n-1. So now let's try to run this code for all the sample test cases. So it is successful. Let's submit this. So it got submitted successfully. The time complexity in this case is O of n, as we are doing an iteration from 1 to n, while the space complexity is also O of n, as we are using a DP array in order to store the intermittent results. I hope this video helped you. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one.